Hey guys, so in the last part of our tutorial we talked about the real-time database in Firebase and how we could actually write data in our database when in test mode. So that would be pretty much not used in the real world environment, whereby you actually need your users to be authenticated before you can actually do anything. So here I first have my project, and let's go to the database section, develop and database. Let's wait for it to load. I want to see the rules govern my database. So actually I changed the rules to read authentication not null, and also write authentication not null. So only authenticated users can be able to write data to my database. So let me first open where I had that project. So project status, and I have open in atom, and I have the index part. So this is pretty much the index part. So up.js pretty much holds whatever I want it to hold. So this part I was trying out cloud messaging, so just ignore this part for now. I'll actually comment it out. So yeah, so we have this first part, and then we call it. We have a script that should actually handle events for us. So let me call into the script, and I want us first to have the value from my status. Let me enter first the index.html. Yes, pretty much it works. So let me go back to where I wanted to be. So first thing, we need to have the database reference. So we'll have constant database variable is equals to Firebase database. This is pretty much what you're going to use to write data. So this is the database reference. So then if you've noticed, we have this, can actually have this out, comment that out. So the new thing here we have is auth.js, Firebase.auth.js, and actually it's a CDN to the script that contains the SDK for Firebase when you're trying to use the authentication. So the next thing will be now to configure the auth to be Firebase.auth, and now that thing will be now to actually have whatever value in our status. So status is equals to document get element by ID. So status, so this is actually store the value in our input field. The fourth things to do here is actually now to link whatever data we have, or to have a function that sets data. And actually it will actually show you another way to do your functions. Yes, you could even do this var set data is equals to that. Do that, so that pretty much should work. Yes, it does work. So this will actually call the set data, and actually data, now we can actually pass data here, and then now here you're going to just change the inner HTML of our label and just call it current status, current status dot inner HTML is equals to whatever data has been put. Yeah, so that will actually set data. So the next thing to do now is actually really authenticate your user, authenticate your users, I mean. So you have the auth object that was returned after Firebase with auth was called, and then now you're going to say create user with email and password, and then you're going to actually to call the this will actually have the email and password. So email and password, and this create user with email and password actually returns a promise, so you can actually then have it here. Then takes a then happens, and then you can have the catch now to catch the error. Catch, and actually catches, so function will have that, so this will actually take error, and then you can actually log the error message here, error.message. Sorry, that way. And now in the create user with email and password, you'll actually need again to call the auth dot on auth state changed. Now this one now will actually now pass the user, give us now the user part, and we can maybe even capture the user ID, so you can actually log the user.id. Let's just do that and see what we have. And after we've actually authenticated our user, so let's do this. If user, meaning that the user actually exists, else, meaning that we haven't actually authenticated our user, but in real sense we'll actually need to authenticate our user. So in right sense we'll actually do this. We'll actually call not the database reference, reference that on, and then on actually does take a value. Let's just do this. Let's just database reference dot set, then set now takes an object, and now the object actually it's like a named value pair, so it's that way. And let's say done. And let's try and see if that actually happens. So we actually need to authenticate our user. So here, maybe let's say create a user. We actually have my password, my email address, and then my password, a random password I'll use. I have 1000 now. So let's try and see if that actually authenticates our user. So let's try that. And it's saying email address is badly formatted. Yes, because we've forgotten the .com. And let's now try it again. And yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's actually brought the user ID. So this is the user ID we actually have, and we can actually view that we've actually authenticated our user, and we actually have his user ID here. So if you check this user ID and then come and check the user ID given here, it's actually the same. So that means that we've actually authenticated our user. I mean. So since it's logged this, that means it's actually placed this in our database after we've authenticated the user. So we can just come here to the database and view that if whatever we've set there has actually reflected to our database. So it's actually reflected to our database, so it's done. And this is a pretty great approach when you're looking at authenticating your users. So we've actually done this direct without having the button and the event listeners and stuff like that to save time. So, and in order for you to see that we can actually read data from the database, I can actually do this. Have a function here. Function. Since that data is actually even there, I can actually have a function now. Function get data. And now the function get data, I'm going to call the database reference dbref. And then from database reference, I'm going actually to do this db reference dot on, and it actually takes the value argument, and then function. Now the function here takes the snapshot of whatever value we have. So snapshot is then there, and then this is snapshot. Snapshot is actually an array of values, array of objects. So we'll actually have the dot for each. Now for each will actually give us now the value. We can actually even put the value in the key so that we can see if what we have actually is there. So function, it's a value, and after value is called, now we just need to do this log value dot key, just need the key, plus just like it seems in the database, just wanted to place it like that. So value dot val, that you can check. So this is it for the get data. So after that is done, it will actually need to place it labels instead of this log, since I've just forgotten we need to place it in our label. So it will just take this, so and then call set data, which is now a function, and then we'll pass whatever we have there, concatenate it, and try to see what it will really place in our label. So console. Let's try and reload and check if everything is okay. Does it place the user ID? Saying the email address is already used by another account. True, the email address is used by another account, so in this case we'll actually need to sign in. Since we've already created an account, first we need to sign in with email address and password. So let's try and see if that works. Yeah, it actually even gives us the user ID again, and that function of ours we just need now to call it after this has been done. So I don't know if set is actually gives us a promise. Let's try and see function. Let's try and see if that finishes, if we can get data. Let's try and see if that is possible. If it isn't possible, you're going to change stuff. Yeah, it actually brought the status done, because then set actually returns a promise, so it can have then, so then gets data and actually puts whatever we have in our database this way. So to put the same way here, right? So when we try and change whatever we have here, let's say again, it actually changes to again, and you can actually see that. So that's it for this tutorial, and that's it for authentication and real-time databases to set. So the next video I'm going to show you here is how to arrange data and actually change data and have and update them in conjunction. In this way I'll need to come up with a project and for us to work with it together. So that's it for this tutorial. Happy coding, and if you've liked this video, subscribe. Thanks.